Hello everyone, my name is Olivier and I'm here to present to you the two figures of speeches of allegory and analogy. Starting off with allegory, allegory is a story with another meaning of the story. It is really the moral of the story and what the author is trying to tell you. So, starting with a comparison, allegory is really like a metaphor. Instead of being short and simple like a metaphor, it is in the whole story. So some people can also call it an extended metaphor. Now, for example, in the movie WALL-E, WALL-E is a perfect example of it because it teaches people to protect the Earth, and the movie is about Wall and Eve who are trying to save the abandoned Earth. And next up with Zootopia. Really, Zootopia is revolved around an animal society where there are predators and prey, leading to a world we both live in together, in a kind of peace and harmony. And that is really all it is, an allegory. Really all it is what the author is trying to tell you. And next up with an analogy. An analogy is a comparison between two different things to clarify something. And there's many types of allegories, and nope, not that, sorry about that. Oh, there's a problem. Sorry about that, alright. So there are many types of allegories. There is an opposite allegory, which is two opposite subjects, but, yeah, it's just two different things that are compared against each other. And an object and classification analogy is multiple objects compared to each other. And the objects and related objects analogy is when two objects are related objects. Cause and effect analogy is so it's one is the cause and the other is the consequence of the cause. Objects and group, it's where several objects are together to make a group, known as an object and group analogy. The problem and solution analogy is each problem has a solution, really. Effort and result is where one word represents the effort and the other represents the result. And for the last one, performer and action analogy is, so the performer, in the analogy, both the performer and the action are mentioned. Alright. So for example, alright. And so an opposite analogy, so say like crying and laughing. Laughing and crying are really not the same thing, but they are compared that way. Objects and classification. So knife and weapon are like a very good representation of it. The object is a knife, and the classification is weapon. Objects and related objects are like plant and seed. The object and so the plant and the seed are related to each other. Cause and effect is, fire and burn. When you make a fire, it burns. So the effect of fire is burn. Objects and groups analogies are like trees. So the object is a tree, but the group of the trees is a forest. Problems and solution is like tired and sleep. The problem is you're tired, and the solution is to sleep. Effort and result, like write and letter. So you write, and then the result is a letter. And for performer in action, it's like a painter is painting. And really that is the two figures of speeches Yeah, the two figures of speeches of allegory and analogy.